they found out that the levels of EMFs are billion times higher in 2015 compared to like 100 years ago, which is really like an extreme amount of EMF.
Welcome back, everyone, to Reconditioned with Lauren Vaknine, your one-stop shop for all things holistic health and growth. And thank you so much for being here again. I know I say it every week, but I genuinely am grateful to you for taking the time to listen to this to improve your health and personal growth. So thank you. So today's episode was one that I have wanted to record for a while. I have the Somavedic myself. It is a machine. I say it's a machine. I don't want to call it a machine. It's made with all natural, amazing, precious stones and all other things that mitigate the harmful effects of electromagnetic frequencies, which are everywhere. You know, Wi-Fi, cell phones, 5G masts, even like electricity around our homes. So I am big on mitigating the effects of EMFs, and I won't go into it too much here because you can listen on the episode where we talk about it in depth. But Juraj is the CEO of Somavedic, and I wanted to get him on because I talk a lot about EMFs, but I wanted someone to explain to my lovely audience exactly why EMFs are dangerous, how we can mitigate them, and indeed that there is a way to mitigate them, because what I don't want is for this podcast to be just a lot of fear about this is toxic and lives are toxic and the modern world's toxic and then just being all this fear around it. What I believe is that yes, we are living in a very toxic time, but there are ways we can mitigate all the harmful effects of the toxic things that are around us. So we have that option. And again, it comes back to taking responsibility for our own well-being. And it always comes back to that. What can you do today to make sure that you are taking responsibility for your wellness as opposed to waiting for someone else to give it to you? So it's a really interesting episode. We touched on EMFs, how to mitigate them, what they do, why they're harmful, free radicals and oxidative stress, which is really important in terms of why we get sick, from anything from, why we have low immune systems to why we get cancer. We spoke about restructuring water and why the water we drink is so important, because some water is just absolutely dead, like tap water, bottled water, it's just dead. It's not even hydrating you. So we spoke about that and just really kind of went into all the nuances behind all of those things. And although it might seem like, and I'm fully aware of this, so I'm okay to just kind of own it and say, this isn't necessarily the episode that you go, oh yeah, that will change my life. I'm going to, click on that. This episode will change your life, because EMFs are damaging us. So the more we understand about all the things around us that could potentially be damaging to us and our children, the more we will know how to implement the measures to put in place to mitigate the effects and therefore keep ourselves healthy. I don't know about you, but I intend to live until 120. So I am doing everything I can to get there. So everything is linked in the show notes, but if you would like to purchase Somavedic, which I would highly recommend because I have one and I put it next to my water and it restructures my water, it mitigates the effects of the Wi-Fi, etc., just head to somavedic.uk. You can hear all about it in the episode, but Juraj recommends the Vedic, which is the green one, and that is like, if this is just for your average household, then that is plenty. Or if you are getting this for an office, a large office space, then the amber, and you can use code Lauren10 to get a 10% discount. So I'm excited for you to listen to this episode. But before we get into it, a very quick word from our lovely partners at Block Blue Light, who absolutely complement what we are talking about today, because it's all about low EMFs, anti-blue light, anti-anything artificial. So a quick word from Block Blue Light. I'm so excited to be working with Block Blue Light again. You guys know I talk about their blue light blocking glasses a lot, but I actually have new reason to talk to you about them now. So a lot of you know we're renovating our new house at the moment, and we have decided to go ahead and kit out our entire house with anti-blue light bulbs because of how damaging modern lighting is to our health and our sleep. We wanted to change everything modern houses usually have that we never question, but that are actually really detrimental to health. So in this case, things like not having dimmers because they release such high EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, or not having LED or fluorescent lighting anywhere, which seems crazy to everyone because that's just what we're used to. We wanted lights without damaging blue light But in rooms like the kitchen, I really wanted to make sure I still had enough light, especially living in the UK where it gets dark at 4 p.m. in the winter. And this was a little bit of a concern of mine because I still really want the house to be fully functional for modern living. But the Block Blue Light team created the world's first biologically friendly day to night full spectrum light bulb. And that's a lighting technology that really closely replicates the same visual color spectrum as visible natural light from the sun. And this sort of exposure to full spectrum light will increase energy throughout the day, and it uplifts our mood and increases overall well-being. And of course, these lights are super low EMF. And low EMF is something I've become hyper aware of in recent years, and something we're really trying to focus on with this house. So for rooms where we don't need lights that are as bright, we've opted for their amber light and taken their advice on things like having floor and table lamps. So after dusk, we'd only have lights at eye height because our ancestors would have only had firelight after dusk, right? And no overhead lighting. And we know that when we mimic our natural states as much as possible, our health thrives. And we wanted to make sure we did this with our new home in every way we could. So they also created the first ever blue light free reading lamp that attaches to your book, and it has 3 brightness settings, but no blue light whatsoever. So it won't damage my sleep in any way, which is life-changing for me because I read in bed every night. Now, this is the 3rd season Reconditioned have teamed up with Block Blue Light because we all know that healthy eating is essential and all of that great stuff, but not enough people know of how important reducing our exposure to blue light and EMFs is. And I really want to continue sharing this message. Sleep optimization is key to health, and these products really maximize that. So you can go ahead and use the code LV20 at checkout on blockbluelight.co.uk for 20% discount across the entire range. Thank you so much to Block Blue Light, and now an uninterrupted episode. So I'd love to hear your answer to what have you done so far today to support your wellness?
Yes, that's a great question to start with. So I think I had a pretty good sleep today. I went to bed early. It was, well, earlier than usual. It was before 11, and woke up slightly after 7 a.m. So that went well. Then I was drinking, I would say, enough like structured water that you can do with a Somavedic as well. And I had some walks around the park and breathing like deeply. So yeah, I mean, I did these 3 things, I think, helped me today.
It's a great way to start the day. And you're in Czech Republic, is that right?
Yes, I'm in Prague. Yes.
In Prague. Awesome. Beautiful city. So let's get started. So like I said, I have a Somavedic home, and I think it's a pretty special mechanism. And there's so much to go into about why we actually need it and how it works and what it helps with. But I always like to start by speaking about the guest's journey. So tell us a little bit about your journey, your story, how you came to Somavedic, why you're doing what you're doing right now.
Yes, sure. So I studied IT, engineering informatics. I have a degree in that. I always loved technology and computers. I mean, I still do. But then I had started to have some health problems. And like cholesterol and a bit of chest pain, chest pressure, high blood pressure, and the brain fog, and all of these things. And doctors were just prescribing me pills which I didn't want to take because they said like, this is it, this is for the rest of your life. So they were not like getting to the root cause. So I basically changed my diet and my lifestyle, and what I was struggling with for more than like 4 years went away within 6 months with a change of lifestyle and diet, which was pretty amazing result and an experience, life-changing experience for me. And since then, basically I had this calling to help other people as well, not by like medical advice or anything like that, but to be more aware of their habits, of their lifestyle habits, and eating and breathing and exercising and environment like water, air, EMF, of course, etc. So As I was going along this journey, I was visiting a friend of mine who had these glowing colored lamps all over his living room. And so we started talking about them, and he said, like, yeah, that's Somavedic, and it's doing this and that. And after he told me few stories that he experienced and his customer experienced, it basically immediately clicked, like, yes, this is it, this is what I want to do, because I always wanted to help people and on a scale. And I felt this, like, this connection. So yes, thanks to this product, thanks to Somavedic, which is of course scalable, it's a product, physical product, I can help people all around the world, to improve their lives, and then sleep and stuff like that. So, and this was in 2018. So I started helping them a bit, and yeah, after a year and a half, I became the CEO. But my journey to Somavedic was through my life experience and through studying about the effects of EMF, effects of other, environmental factors on our bodies.
Mm. So yeah, because I know that we, with the Somavedic, we've kind of got three elements, and correct me if I'm wrong, and there are more, but we've got that it works on mitigating the effects of EMFs, and it works on free radicals, and it can also restructure water. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So yes.
So I was going to say, let's start with EMFs, because it's a huge buzzword. People want to understand. We've got Wi-Fi now, 5G masts going up everywhere, and we're all trying. My audience are very health conscious. We're all kind of trying to do what we can within the modern world to optimize our health as much as we can. So I'd love to start with EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. If you can tell us what they are, what do they do? Why do we need to be mitigating the effects?
Yes, so EMFs is this invisible, like, field that is emitting from wireless devices, so they can communicate basically with each other. Wi-Fi router, cell phone, TV, Bluetooth headset, all of these, thanks to this invisible, basically, waves, they can communicate. So this is like a high level, like nutshell, what is EMF. But in current society, it's let's say we live in a high-tech society, basically depending on these technologies. And there were two scientists, two professors, measuring the levels of EMF currently. Currently means in 2015, which is quite some time ago. And they were comparing the levels to the before the invention of electricity. Right. So before the man-made EMF, actually.
Because we have EMFs from the Earth, from the sun, Earth, sun,
yes, from the universe, but that's like a natural form of radiation. Even ionizing radiation, it's natural to be found in nature.
A bit like blue light, right? We've got the artificial blue light now, which is really badly affecting us. We've also got natural blue light from the sun, but it's the artificial one that's affecting us badly.
Yes, exactly. Because the natural blue light goes away, when there's no sun, where the artificial one stays. So and they found out that the levels of EMFs are billion times higher now, in 2015, compared to like 100 years ago, which is really like an extreme amount of EMF like levels. And this is, I have to say, this is 2015, and
so it's even worse now, because we've got 5G now.
Of course, yes, because now there's 5G, which is, and 5G is not 5G is adding in the to the EMF soup that we are already bathing in, because 5G is not replacing 4G or 3G. They are still on, but 5G is working on a different wavelength. It's a bit different technology, so there needs to be more 5G towers. So it's just basically adding exponentially on the EMF levels. So when we think about this in terms of biology, our bodies were not, developed to thrive in such high levels of man-made EMF. So, and of course, there are like thousands and thousands of studies showing the adverse effects of EMF on our bodies. It's derailing our brainwave function. It's interfering with our sleep. It's causing infertility. There are like, and even cancer is linked. Plants don't grow, for example, that fast or at all. So there are like really various categories where and it's of course increasing the levels of oxidative stress, which is increasing the speed of how our cells are aging.
And so with that, I just have a question there, because we've seen these studies, and it's kind of, I guess, from an observational perspective, an empirical perspective, we can surmise that these EMFs are causing harm to our bodies, and yet the electric companies or the Wi-Fi companies, whatever they are coming out with things saying there is no conclusive evidence that 5G is harmful, and they're saying that there are studies against that. So is that true? I mean, how are we measuring how harmful this is?
Yeah, so first of all, there are no studies that 5G is not harmful.
Yeah.
So and because of course there are some, not even standards, but there are sort of recommendations, but these are very, very old. These are pre-iPhone 1, and so that's really long time ago. And the companies, they don't even need to be specific within or strict with them. So these are like guidelines, and these guidelines are old. And for example, the one of the safety or guidelines is that the radiance of, let's say, two microvolts per square meter is safe, but the studies are showing that it's much less. It needs to be, let's say, 100th of microvolt, not 2 microvolts. So it's 100 or 1000 times it needs to be less than the current guidelines are. So it's very, very outdated. And the reason why this is still happening and the companies can still go on with it is that it's such a huge industry. There are so basically huge sums of money are involved. So if anybody would like to sue this industry, it would be very, very hard. Of course, it is getting better. It is improving, because, for example, in Italy, there were 6 cases confirmed by the highest court that the brain cancer of 6 patients was caused by the cell phone. So there are these breakthrough, and I think there will be much more of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know what it's like with the big companies, a bit like what's happening now all over the world. And, if you're trying to fight against, big tech, big pharma, it's pretty much impossible. So it's, I guess, up to us to mitigate the effects before, or avoid these things before the problems occur.
Yeah, you get censored, you got labeled, and you get fired, and all of these things. Yes.
Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir there. Censorship city over here. So we've touched on EMF. So what about free radicals? Can you explain free radicals and cell-to-cell communication?
Yes, so I can talk about the free radicals from the perspective of how EMF is increasing it. So there are so-called calcium gate voltage channels in our cells, and with in the EMF field, basically these gates on the cellular level, they open up and let calcium in, which is not desirable. And the calcium causes this increase of the free radical levels, and this is causing the improved speed of aging of our cells. And they were testing it with these calcium voltage gate blockers. For example, when they use these blockers, the levels of free radicals levels didn't went up. The calcium was not able to get in. So in a nutshell, what the EMF is doing is basically it's disrupting our cells, and that's why they are aging faster.
And when they age faster, then we're more susceptible to disease. Our immune systems are lower. Yes. So my understanding of free radicals is that they kill off antioxidants. There's not enough oxygen, and we need antioxidants in order to fight illness. And the more free radicals you have from EMFs, but also, let's say, from chemicals in food, if we're eating non-organic food, in cigarettes, in pollution, etc., all of that is going to play a part in killing off the antioxidants, which means that we've got more free radicals, which means that the cells are aging quicker, so we get ill more.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so we understand about EMFs, we understand a little bit about free radicals. So let's talk about how the Somavedic actually plays a part in mitigating those, and then we'll move on to understanding about the water, because water is a big passion of mine.
Yeah. So how Somavedic actually works is that it's a combination of frequency therapy technology with the healing properties of precious stones and minerals. And there's a story behind that. As the founder, a dear friend of mine, he was also quite few years ago, he was also quite sick, but then he started to study Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine and different healing properties of precious stones and minerals. And after some time, he was able to basically heal himself. Then he started helping other people, and he's not like a doctor or anything like that, but that was working as well. And eventually he decided to put his knowledge and experience together into a device that would mitigate the effects of EMF and geopathic zones. So this is how the Somavedic came to be. So it's a combination of the various precious stones and minerals and natural energy amplifiers with frequency therapy technology. So what we are doing, or what the Somavedic is doing, it's creating this field, this coherent field around the device. You can think of it as a Wi-Fi router, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. So you just bring in the home, plug it in, and it's creating this coherent field on top of the field that you have already at home. So it's not blocking the EMF. The EMF is still there, but your body is responding differently to the EMF. It's responding as if there would be much lower levels of the EMF. So, and we've measured this. I mean, not we, but different labs measured this when they use Somavedic with their patients. For example, their sleep improved, or their blood pressure improved. And not only the blood pressure got lower, but with patients that have low blood pressure, it got normalized, so it went up a bit. For example, the mood changed with patients, and one study from Germany is showing that Somavedic in an EMF environment is helping to speed up the cell regeneration process. So it's basically lowering the levels of free radicals. So this is what the coherent field of Somavedic is doing. So, but if you want to look at it from even a different perspective, so the frequencies of properties of the precious stones and minerals are creating this space where the body is supported to start its own healing property, its healing processes, because the body is doing the healing, not anything else. We just provide the space so it's not disrupted by the external like factors to start the healing processes. So this is in a nutshell what Somavedic is doing.
I love that. It's a bit like homeopathy, that it's not it treats the person, not the disease, and it's there helping your body to heal itself, as opposed to us kind of always waiting or expecting for something external to heal us. It has to come from within our own body. So what does it mean when you have faster cell regeneration?
Well, that means a lot for, that that means that you are, the what's the word for the, so when you have I forgot the word. We can
That's okay. We can come back to that.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out, come up with the disease, like it's a long, the disease.
We can cut this bit, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, no, I need to figure it out.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is we'll cut this bit. I'll ask the question
okay.
again, and then you can reply once you've thought of the answer.
Thank you.
Take a few seconds.
So what's the type of disease, like blood pressure and cancer and like cholesterol? Those are. So what I'm trying to, I'll just, before we get into what I'm trying to say, that you are not so prone, to, as your body is in better shape, you are not so prone to get these illnesses as the body is able to, mitigate these levels of free radicals and have enough antioxidants.
Okay, so shall I just ask that question again, and then you can just mention those diseases?
Sure.
Okay. So what does it mean when we have faster cell regeneration? What does that mean for our health?
Yeah, well, that means a lot. For example, because when your cells are disrupted, or when something is not working right, in the long term, it can have like adverse effects, like causing inflammation, high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, and lots of other things. So if we take care of the cells and they have enough time and energy to regenerate themselves, basically, you feel more energized, you have more mental clarity, more energy, you are more productive, you feel better. So on a high level, it has these subtle things that you sleep well, you feel good, but of course this has much higher impact on your quality of life in general.
And just coming back to the EMFs before, the Somavedic, obviously we'll get into a little bit later the different machines that are available, because I know that there are different versions of them, and one specifically for the home. how do people find out if they're on fault lines or what their geopathic stress is? Can you explain a bit about geopathic stress and how the Somavedic, I'm assuming it's working in the same way as what you explained with the EMFs, but would love to just, have a deeper understanding of that.
Yes, sure. So geopathic zone, for example, in Eastern cultures, they know this for thousands of years, that they call it dragon veins, for example. So geopathic zone, the most common geopathic zone is created by a flowing underground that is river below the surface. So the flow of the river is creating the vibration. And as the vibration is surfacing, when you have, for example, your bed on top of it, or your office chair, or something that you spend more than 6 or 7 hours a day at that spot, the data is showing, or the studies are showing, that it has negative health effects on our bodies. And for patients, it was enough basically to move their beds out of the zone, or their office out of the zone. So this is what the geopathic zones are, and you can find out by people called dowsers. Dowsing, basically.
Yeah.
They used to.
You can do that yourself.
Yes, you can do that yourself. Of course, you just can Google that, and some people don't believe it, but we hired them. We used to hire them to find wells where we should dig a well or anything like that. So yes, these people are very helpful when finding these zones. And how Somavedic is mitigating, again, the effects of the geopathic zones is the same principle as is mitigating the effects of EMF, is thanks to this field that it is creating. So this geopathic zone on a cellular level is not affecting your body.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I actually know someone who comes to your house and does that, and he looks at where to move your beds, and where to talks to you about all the EMFs in your home and how to mitigate it, where to put your bed, where to put, and if it's really, really bad, he advises you to move house.
Yeah.
But he's pretty good in kind of just telling you how to work your home around geopathic zones underneath. So it's very, very interesting. And dowsing we can do with pendulums, right, with crystals. So let's get on to precious stones, because I think a lot of people just think that they're just something that hippies use, and they have no actual power. But can you talk about how they work on frequencies, and just specifically how precious stones, crystals work specifically, and how they're working within the Somavedic?
Yes, so current physics and even quantum physics or quantum physics and even physics is telling us that everything has its own vibration, its frequency. So this is the same thing with different gemstones. They have a long tradition in the eastern countries in Asia. And they have these like hundreds and hundreds year old books where they they were describing the properties and how they are helping our bodies. And it's basically thanks to the vibration they are emitting. So in a normal state, it has certain strength and radius of the field of a gemstone, let's say. So you usually wear it in your pocket on as a necklace or something like that. But what we do, as I mentioned previously, what we do with them is put them inside Somavedic. together with different energy amplifiers, like natural energy amplifiers, and with combination with our frequency therapy technology, we are amplifying their properties and frequency. So the radius is much bigger. And we don't need, or the Somavedic doesn't need to be plugged in order to work, because the principle of the Somavedic is basically is the amplification of the precious stones and minerals and energy. So they are working in correlation with each other. So the Somavedic has about like 60% efficacy, even when it's not not plugged in.
Wow, I didn't know that, because mine's plugged in all the time.
Yes, we of course we do recommend it. It was designed to be plugged in and turned on like all the time, but it's working even when it's not plugged in.
Okay, interesting. And you mentioned about the crystals that you put, the precious stones that are in there. Can you mention any of the ones specifically that are used?
Yeah, well, we have about from about 12 of them.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, I don't know the English, words for.
Okay, no worries. That's fine. Maybe you can
that's-
send them to me, and I can put them. We can translate them, and we can put them in the show notes.
Sure. Because there are different stones in different type. Different type of Somavedic, but there are some that we use in all. There are some that we use specifically for some types, and of course, we have some models that are structuring the water, and it's thanks to the different minerals that are inside that are allowing for this water structuring capability.
Let's get to that in just 1 second, because I really want to talk about the water structuring. But I just want to talk about the Somavedic alongside Wi-Fi and what else we can be doing to mitigate the effects. So we turn off our Wi-Fi at night, but when I recommend this to people, they say things like, their Ring doorbell, where they have the cameras and everything is connected to Wi-Fi, their alarm system, and so they can't really turn off the Wi-Fi. Would you recommend that people find a way to turn off the Wi-Fi, or is the Somavedic doing enough that they don't need to?
It's always, and I recommend this every time somebody is asking me this question, I always recommend trying to lower the EMF exposure, no matter if you have Somavedic or not. It's always a good thing.
Because regardless of whether your Wi-Fi, you've still got 4G, 5G masts around, you've got Wi-Fi from other people's houses coming in.
Yes, exactly. So what I would recommend people that for whatever reasons they can't turn off their Wi-Fi's or anything, their household or their lives are too dependent on it, is to what they can do, what they definitely can do, is to shield their bedrooms, or at least their bed. Because everything else is functioning except, working fine, except your bed or your bedroom. Because during the night, when we sleep, it's the most important time for our bodies to regenerate. So whatever external factors are influencing your body and causing it to stress and everything, the sleep time is the very precious time where the body needs to regenerate, so it's full of energy the next day. So if there's nothing we can do, we should do at least try to lower the EMF exposure in our bedrooms. We can use grounding mats, for example, that you put in the bed, and it's enough that your feet are just touching it doesn't need to be covered the whole bed. So this, or there are different EMF shielding blankets. So yeah, except the usual stuff, not using Bluetooth like headset, and have your phone in flight mode when you have it in your pocket, and all of these usual things. The taking care of your sleep would be the number one suggestion.
And when you say shielding your bed, what do you mean by that?
So there are like covers that I don't know the English word, but as you can imagine, like a blanket against mosquitoes.
Yeah, like a mosquito
So
net.
yes, like a mosquito net. So there are like different fabrics that block the EMF, and
Wow.
you can use it very similarly.
Wow. So, because I've got my feet on a grounding mat right now, and I've got obviously all the, but I've never heard of that. So that's pretty interesting. So we'll have to look into that and maybe try and put that in the show notes. Okay, so let's go into water now and explain what the problem is with the water we're drinking and what the Somavedic does to help us restructure it, why our water needs to be structured.
Yeah. So the structured water, why it's important that we, of course, why it is important that we drink structured water, because it's the structured water is in our cells, and it's the most natural like state or form of water that our bodies are used to. So it's the most bioavailable state of water, but we don't get to drink it because it's not in our tap water. It's not, you can't find it in plastic bottles or anywhere else, except of course nature in the flowing rivers. So because water has memory, and everything that's done and all the surfaces she's passing through or it's passing through, it's disrupting the structure of the water. And what I mean by the structure is that if you would freeze a drop of water and look at it under the microscope, the shape of the crystal would be very chaotic. It wouldn't have any shape at all. And if you have a structured water, then the crystal would look, it would have very nice geometric shape, like a snowflake, for example, like endless shapes of snowflakes. It would look very nice. So this way you can tell the structured water and not structured water. And there's a difference also in taste. So for example, when you put water next to the Somavedic for 15-20 minutes, and then you taste the water, it tastes different. It's a bit sweeter, it's more smooth, more silky in a way, and it provides the same amount of water, provides just better hydration, which is very important for all of the functions in our bodies, because we have we are more than 70% water, and so the quality of water that we drink is really, really crucial. So yeah, this is one of course one of the important reasons why to drink structured water.
Yeah, because I mean, the water that's coming from the taps, that has a multitude of toxins in it, from chlorine to fluoride. So obviously, because we're talking about water that's dead here, really, the water's dead,
Yes.
so it's not nourishing us, it's not hydrating us. And when you put chemicals like chlorine, which we know to be highly toxic, and fluoride, which we know to be a neurotoxin, obviously that's going to take any structure out the water. And then equally, a lot of people think that then the good option, oh, I don't drink tap water, I drink bottled, but that's as bad, because then you're getting kind of all the microplastics from the plastic bottles into that, and the processing of getting the water into the bottles and that kind of stuff. So I have a water distiller, and it's next to the Somavedic. So my water is always next to that. So I'm hoping that it's really well structured. So my question for you is, because when you distill water, I mean, we're actually renovating a house at the moment, and interestingly, which you might find interesting, we've decided to make this house as low EMF as possible. So we have got anti-blue lighting, so blue light free lighting for the whole house, and no dimmers, so just everything like low EMF wherever we can. And we're getting a new water system that more so than the distiller actually purifies the water, so takes the toxins out, but then it realkalizes it. Um, and then the Somavedic will actually be restructuring it. Now, in that case, because I remineralize my water with
Yes.
Celtic salt or fulvic acid, would you still recommend remineralizing water? Because obviously we're so lacking in these trace minerals.
I would, because like a distilled water can sometimes it can work as a sponge, that it might take minerals from your body. So I would definitely remineralize the water. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So one question I do have is how, when these things are invisible, so EMFs are invisible, how do we measure the benefits of a machine like the Somavedic? Because my husband often looks at it and says, how do we know what it's doing? Which I'm
Yes.
sure most people will be thinking. And I believe in that it's working, and all of these things that I'm doing to mitigate my health, I do it because I follow my intuition, and I believe intuition is a massive part of health, because if we follow it without having to read studies, I often think that it's leading us to the best place. However, most of us need that kind of validation and the scientific understanding of what this is doing. Is there a way to measure the benefits? Like, how do I know that this is helping my cell to cell communication? How do I know it's restructuring my water other than maybe the taste? How do I know it's help, because my kids wake up quite early. So when it comes to sleep, I can't always measure that.
Yeah, I understand. So usually how you can tell is because lots of our customers have some kind of struggle, headaches, sleepless nights, irritation, like various things. And if this is caused by the EMF, and they buy Somavedic, it usually goes away. So this is the first thing that you can notice when you are struggling with something, and after a few days or even hours, it's gone. Then you'll know, like, wow, this is working. And we get really lots of testimonials and feedbacks, how their life changed, how they finally had their best sleep ever, how they they feel much calmer, so they're like, usually it's improvement of sleep, energy levels, brain fog, lowering, let's say, the frequency of headaches or migraines. They can even go away completely, as with my colleague. She, with when she got we gave her some Somavedic, she said, like, it's like now, like, her migraines are almost gone, and she was like suffering from this for quite some time. So this way, when you have some kind of this thing that's going on, and it goes up, it's gone, then you can tell right away, of course. But then there are people that don't have these kind of struggles, and it's hard for them to tell if it's working or not. But it's always working. In sooner or later, the benefits of that your body is in the Somavedic field will add up, and maybe even with that your body or your cells won't be disrupted that much by the EMF, so which has a long-term effect. And the way how you can measure at home is perhaps with the free radical level, like, test kit, but you would have to do that before you get a Somavedic.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, so my daughter wakes up particularly early and still wakes up sometimes in the night. So, I mean, the other day, for example, I had 6 hours sleep, which I don't think is optimum for the amount I'm doing in the day. And yet I still didn't feel, as I woke up, I felt tired because I was like, oh, I just want to sleep. I managed to get through. I was working all day, had the kids in the evening, was teaching at night, and I didn't feel as exhausted as I would have done. So I did that. That's kind of, I guess, my gauge. And I think for me, when we move into the new house and we kind of have all these things, because like I always say, nothing works in isolation. You know, people always say to me, was it homeopathy that cured you? I could have been seeing the best homeopath in the world and eating McDonald's every day and the homeopathy wouldn't work. So it's like the Somavedic for me is just another tool in my wellness toolkit that I know is just in the modern day, we have to, there's so much toxicity around that we have to do everything we can to mitigate all of that.
Definitely. Somavedic is by no means like a magic pill that you buy Somavedic and all of a sudden, you know, like all of your life struggles or health issues are gone. As you said, you can have the best homeopathic and you know still go to McDonald's like this. This doesn't make any sense. So Somavedic is just one of the important tools to incorporate in your lifestyle, whether you know you have to take care of the EMF levels, of your breathing, of the light, of the food, of the nutrition and then exercise, and even the like meditation or mental things. So all of this combined, then you are on the right path.
Which is exactly what I'm about, a holistic approach, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Okay, so can you just, as a final note, explain, because there are a few products available, what's the difference? What one should we be going for and why?
Yeah, so the main difference between them is if they are strong enough to mitigate the 5G effects, and you can filter them out on our webpage, and if they structure the water or not. So these are the two main differentiators. So we have the bestseller, which is the Vedic, the green one, and it's like all in one. It's strong enough, it has the water structuring capabilities, and then we have one, in a nutshell, we have one stronger unit and one, let's say, I don't want to say weaker unit, but the model Sky, that is, let's say, below the Vedic.
Slightly less comprehensive.
Yes, and it's not structuring the water. Of course, it's cheaper, it's more affordable. And then we have above the Vedic is the Amber, which is really designed, you know, when you are for example, in a office or corporate environment, like lots of high tech and computers, or in city centers. So
and what sort of radius would that work in?
Yes, so all of them have the same radius, same working radius. It's a 100 feet radius, which is pretty big radius. So it's enough to have one Somavedic for your home or for your whole apartment or home, and you just place it somewhere in the middle, a living room or kitchen or something like that. And as the field is penetrating walls and floors, it covers basically your whole apartment. So these three models are the essential models, the line to have a look at.
And should it be placed near your Wi-Fi router, or it doesn't matter where it is in the house? Like if you've got, say, a 4-bedroom house, general kind of size, it will just work wherever you put it.
Yes, in that case, I would place it, as we discussed before, I would place it closer to the bedroom. It's the crucial part to protect the sleep. Then I would place it not directly in the bedroom. It doesn't need to be there directly because it has a bright light, but just closer to the bedroom in the hall or something like that.
What about if you're wanting to restructure your water? Presumably then it needs to be in the kitchen.
Yes, ideally. Or you can just have a jug of water anywhere in, wherever you have the Somavedic, you can place a jug of water next to the Somavedic and then just drink from that.
Awesome. I think we've covered so much in basically all the questions that people would have on this. I always end the show by doing a quick fire round called All About You. So are you ready for that?
I hope so.
So the first question is a fill in the blank, which is wellness is ...
Wellness is crucial.
It is indeed. One thing you know to be absolutely true that others would disagree with.
That's I don't have a specific answer for that, because I'm the lucky one surrounded with people that we are on the same level on majority of the topics. So I don't have an answer for
What
that.
about what the public would disagree with outside?
Yes. Then of course, then it would be.
This doesn't get censored, so you can say whatever you want.
Yes, then it would be, COVID, vaccines, EMF, cancer, and all of that.
Man after my own heart. The best advice you'd give people starting out in business, because you are running an intentional business.
In business, surround yourself with people like that you feel good energy with and are more experienced than you.
Yeah. And lastly, the best lesson you learned through trying to tackle illness.
It would be to be gentle on yourself, not to push too hard, accept it and learn.
Juraj, thank you so much. We've spoken about so much that I know people are actually going to want these tangible things. So I'm going to put everything in the show notes. So whoever's listening and you've got questions, that will all be in the show note. And obviously, I always put a little snippet of this on Instagram. So we'll be tagging you in Somavedic. And we will also obviously link where everyone can get the Somavedic, and you can get 10% discount. Just click on the link that I put in the show notes to get to that. So thank you so much for being here and for all your amazing knowledge and wisdom.
Thank you, Lauren, for having me.
Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. And thank you also for taking responsibility for your well-being by listening to podcasts like this. It's something I really appreciate. And before you go, I just wanted to remind you to check out the Recondition Your Life Academy at laurenvakninecoaching.com. It's a 12-week course that I run 3 times a year for small tribes of like-minded women. If you love anything you're hearing here on the podcast, this course will serve you so deeply. Everything from inner child healing, divine feminine healing, and health optimization to how to find your purpose and how to find or cultivate conscious relationships, and so much more. Check out all the testimonials on the website from some very happy previous Academy members. The growth and healing available in this course really is unique. Just head over to the website and make sure to get your name on the waiting list for when we launch the next semester. Sending so much love your way.